roll A, take A.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Catherine Irvin.
And I'm Malik Keaton. Local sports radio fans are dealing with a big change to one of the major stations in the New River Valley area. Super Sports 101.7 is now CBS Sports Blacksburg, and the name is not only the change in store for fans. News reporter Josh Henry has more on the station's rebrand.
The clubhouse with Danny Noakes is a staple of Super Sports 101.7, one of the biggest local sports radio stations. Or it was. Noakes and his brother Andy are still around, but the station went through an overhaul the last 2 months. Super Sports 101.7 is now 101.7 CBS Sports Blacksburg.
It made more sense to have the CBS handle instead of Super Sports is catchy, it's fun to say, but I think the CBS handle just carries more weight, and it was probably just for consistency's sake.
The rebranding part of the process is done for CBS Sports Blacksburg. Now the focus turns to people who use this and this as part of their daily lives. Even though it is a national sponsor rebrand, the focus for the station is to make content more New River Valley centric. There are no plans to hire new talent for the station yet, according to director Jamie Forrest, but the clubhouse will be bringing more local content to the airwaves, from the focus of the show to the people that they interview.
You know, those national guys don't get the chance to interact with Coach Fuente, Buzz Williams, Kenny Brooks, whoever it is, John Sheff, on a regular basis like the local beat writers do. I tried to focus mostly on Virginia Tech because that's what most of our listeners want to hear about.
This is Josh Henry reporting for the Newsfeed.
It's no secret that Virginia Tech's Ware Lab has been a building block for undergraduate engineering research, but the facility itself wasn't always state of the art. Thanks to $500,000 donation 20 years ago, you can hardly tell that this workspace originated from the remains of an old rundown laundry room. In the late 1990s, the Ware Lab at Virginia Tech was relocated from a car shop in the basement of Randolph Hall to a laundry room on the corner of Turner Street. Joseph Ware Jr. and his wife Jenna Ware asked that the lab would only be used by undergraduate students and to focus on generating great diversity among engineering majors. In the 9 years, Dewey Spangler has assisted student projects and maintained safety standards in the lab. He insists that Joseph Ware Jr.'s legacy of creating a real-world environment has held the test of time. Many students file in early morning with their teams and occupy project bays throughout the night. Approximately 150 students utilize the Ware Lab on a regular basis for car, motorcycle, pod, bridge, and canoe designs. Spangler will be holding an open house in September to celebrate the 20th anniversary and once again seek out a new donor to grow their space. Virginia Tech is taking part in a bike share program that will provide community bikes for students to use across Blacksburg, Christiansburg, Montgomery County, and campus. The program will be similar to those used in big cities and is set to launch in April. Newsfeed reporter Molly Bryant has more on that story.
With the growing number of students attending Virginia Tech each year, the university is working hard to accommodate its students. Virginia Tech has decided to take part in a new bike share program that will give students access to community bikes across Blacksburg, Christiansburg, Montgomery County, and campus. The program will be similar to those found in cities where you can take a bike from one rack and return it to another. Students like Kyle and Lily, who walk far distances not only to campus but also from class to class, think the program will be a great addition to Virginia Tech.
I think the bike share program is going to be a really good addition to Virginia Tech, especially with the expansion of our campus. I think it'll be really great for people to be able to get around campus a little bit quicker.
The program will provide 132 racks with a total of 88 bikes to be used across all the locations. Virginia Tech's campus will have 8 bike stations, while the towns will each have 2.
Shares a lot of things to people. Some people in the transit world, you look at it, it's called the last mile. You don't need a bike all day long. You just want to have a bike available when you get off the bus, and you want to be able to take it across campus and then park it and lock it up.
Virginia Tech has hopes that the program will expand after its launch, which will allow for more funding on the project and therefore more bikes for students to have access to. The university hopes to launch the program before April 5th, which Virginia Tech has designated as a Bike to Campus Day. For the newsfeed, I'm Molly Bryant reporting.
Radford University submitted a proposal for a grant to fund an academic building parallel to East Main Street in Radford. The new 200,000 square foot building will be called the Center for Adaptive Innovation and Creativity. The project is projected to cost a total of $79 million and will build the current location site of Porterfield and McGuffey Halls. The College of Visual Arts and Performing Arts as well as the School of Nursing have outgrown their current buildings, which were built in the 1960s. Although most current students will have graduated by the completion of the building, they are already awaiting the possible project. The new building will bring together the arts, healthcare, and information technology into one facility. This proposal is currently being reviewed by the Virginia General Assembly.
Virginia Tech's updated campus master plan has been in the works since 2016.
The master plan is the university's vision for the campus in the coming years. Newsfeed reporter Lauren Farrer has more in this story.
The Virginia Tech master plan proposes big changes for the university. The master plan details recommended changes to be implemented on the campus in the future. Mike Dunn is one of the planning experts on the Virginia Tech team.
It's been really exciting for me. It's great to get a overall view of the campus, overall view of everyone's opinions and thoughts, and try and pull that together and make a plan for our campus for the future.
The Virginia Tech planning team takes student feedback and incorporates it into the plan.
Students really want space, so as we're planning, make sure we have space. Different student groups have talked about ADA accessibility, so I've been able to take that to the board and say, this is a concern that students are having, and giving feedback as to where do I think a good dining hall would be, where do I think we might want more rec fields and things like that.
If the university goes through with the master plan changes, everything that you see behind me will get a whole new look. The pyramids will become flat skylights, and Kogel Hall will become the updated Kogel Commons.
It's good to keep in mind that this is a plan if we're going to grow. These aren't construction documents. This is a very high level look at the whole university, so that when you see footprints, these are just placeholders of what could happen in the future.
Future years will show how Virginia Tech implements the master plan. Reporting from the newsfeed, I'm Lauren Farrer.
Just ahead on the newsfeed, the Virginia Tech rugby team celebrates their 50th anniversary. And a closer look at the vendors of this year's Gobbler Nights festivities. That story and more after this break.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to the newsfeed. I'm Catherine Irvin.
And I'm Malik Keaton. College can be a difficult time for everyone. This difficulty is multiplied when a student must overcome a disability to succeed. Students with disabilities may need help in order to thrive in the college environment. At Virginia Tech, Services for Students with Disabilities is located in Lavery Hall. It exists to assist the university with advancing their missions and with protecting students' civil rights under the Americans with Disabilities Act at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech freshman Andrew McCaffrey feels that SSD does a good job overall, but that there's a lot of room for improvement.
I think maybe being a little bit more open about kind of who they are and what they do would help to kind of branch out to more students who could use their services, because I know that sometimes it's a little bit unclear what constitutes a disability.
Services with Students for Disabilities tries to create a campus climate in which students can experience inclusion in the academic community. However, students are often unaware of the resources available to them. The SSD looks to continue to expand their reach to help improve the Virginia Tech campus and community.
The Virginia Tech Rugby Club is working toward becoming a varsity athletics program. That will require fierce dedication, and it will result in tougher competition and a higher profile. Newsfeed reporter Brendan Quinn has more.
Virginia Tech Rugby is working on their long-term goal of becoming a varsity sport. That process takes time and commitment, and right now they are focusing on growing as a program.
In the moment, we're trying to just better our program. We love what rec sports does for us. If we can kind of maybe bridge that gap to the varsity side, great. But in the meantime, in the next couple of years, I think we're just aiming at bettering ourselves, and then maybe eventually taking that step once the opportunity presents itself.
The Rugby Club has $50,000 in their endowment fund, which they use for scholarships to bring in elite talent. On March 24th, they are holding their 50 for 50 event at a tournament where they hope to raise $50,000. They believe that money would be extremely helpful for their growth.
Our big goal there is to raise $50,000 to make it to $100,000. So we have $50,000 in our endowment fund right now, and that supports scholarships that we're able to kind of pull talented players to Virginia Tech. But we're really, aiming to push our program to the next level, and that, in our mind, means bigger scholarships, paid positions as coaches, long-term salaries, really develop the program.
The growth in scholarships has already shown up on the field as they have been able to attract athletes who are devoted to rugby.
We've definitely seen the scholarship money affect the play on the field. The best thing is getting guys playing in high school, so you don't have to teach that learning curve coming in. And the money has definitely brought a lot of kids in there.
I'm Brendan Quinn, reporting for the Newsfeed.
In other Hokie sports news, Major League Baseball teams are preparing to report to spring training this week. And for former Hokie Patrick Naughton, this will be his first. Newsfeed reporter Andy Brandon joins us with more. Andy.
Thanks, Malik. Winter is on its way out, and in the world of baseball, that means one thing. It's spring training time. For former Hokie fireballer Patrick Naughton of the Cincinnati Reds, this marks his first ever spring training. If you're unaware, MLB spring training takes place in either Florida or Arizona, depending on the organization, and its purpose is to prepare athletes for the long 162-game season that lies ahead. Upon arrival, athletes begin all-day practices coupled with scrimmages against other major league teams. Currently, there are 8 former Hokies in the MLB organizations, much of which have not been there long. For Packy Naughton, the opportunity to live out his dream is one that is a bit surreal.
I mean, it's great. It's like hard work is paying off, and I'm starting to accomplish what I've dreamt about accomplishing ever since I was 5 years old. So I mean, it's pretty cool. And to come from a place like Virginia Tech, it's really special.
Special may be a bit of an understatement for Packy, after having made the decision to enter the last year's draft after having had, as he'd call it, a less than ideal season. For news on Packy through spring training and beyond, just visit the Reds official website. I'm Andy Brandon reporting for the Newsfeed. Back to you at the desk.
Campus Life and Student Engagement hosted its annual event, Gobbler Nights, recently. This was the last of 3 Gobbler Nights they hosted for this school year. Vendors from different organizations hosted activities for all ages. Newsfeed reporter Caroline Fear tells us more in the next story.
Students and Blacksburg residents filled Squire Student Center to take part in the Disney-themed Gobbler Nights. The night kicked off at 9 p.m., where attendees could check in with volunteers in the main lobbies. The event is hosted by Student Engagement and Campus Life, and this was the 3rd and last Gobbler Night of the school year. Each Gobbler Night had a different theme, and the Disney theme in particular drew many students to check out the variety of activities.
We wanted to come out because we love Disney, and it was just like a fun thing to do on a Friday night. Yeah, we saw the posters around Squires about it, and so we decided to come out.
Vendors at the event ranged from VTPD, where attendees could partake in Lightning McQueen's obstacle course, to creating your own boot flower pot from the Disney Pixar movie WALL-E with the Office of Sustainability. Assistant Director of Campus Events, Emily Moyer, touches on the ways she takes student feedback into account when creating events like these.
At each event, students can take a survey when they check in, and one of the questions on the survey asked what activities drew them to the event or what activities they would like to see in the future. And so I definitely look at that when I'm determining the next event, so I can try to have activities that students want to see or that students are coming to the event for.
Emily and her team said tonight was a success. They are already making preparations for next year's Gobbler Nights, and they encourage everyone to come out during the first week of the new year.
This has been Caroline Fear reporting for the Newsfeed.
That will wrap up this edition of the Newsfeed.
If you have any story ideas for the Newsfeed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com. And as always, you can also connect with the Newsfeed on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. I'm Malik Keith.
And I'm Catherine Irvin.